Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM21. This is Career Mode. It's episode 122. We're picking up with a race that I was going to bypass entirely, but thanks to a good race, I figured I might as well finish it off, or at least help finish it off. Karaman finds himself in 4th place here in the final stage of the Itzulia Basque Country race. So for this one, with him in 4th place and it really tight at the top, figured I might as well give him the support he needs. In fact, the more I was thinking about it here recently, the more I realized we are into the final 2 months before we get to the release of the new PCM edition. And over these last couple months, it's only going to get me so many episodes. 24 maybe. So over the course of 24 episodes, the Grand Tours alone tend to take 7 episodes each, 6 or 7, depending on what your target is anyway. So kind of a minimum of about 5. I'd say between the Grand Tours, you're looking at about 20 episodes. So if we're that close to the release of the new PCM, and it's going to take that many episodes just to get through the Grand Tours this season, let alone the other episodes that we are bound to go through, we are looking at a situation, as Igashin was dropped on that one, and wow, he is surrounded by a bunch of Alpecin Phoenix riders. I'm guessing they are pulling hard to try to bring back their leader. But anyway, it seems possible, it seems likely that this is going to be the final episode. In fact, I really think it feels very likely that this will be it. That, PCM 22 will already be out by the time I'm finishing this season up and finishing this series up. Therefore, I want to give my all to this season. Ironically, that does lead to 2 or 3, maybe 4 more episodes, additional episodes. But it means that I want to see what the team can do this season, even though we don't necessarily look like we are in a position. Hermans, is that their leader? Doesn't look like it. He's wearing the leader's number, but anyway, as we approach the biggest climb that remains on the day, so far we're looking good. Race day condition is nice. As I go over the top, I should have done it already, but as I go over the top of this climb, I will go ahead and reset a few things and get water. So we're going to up our effort to make sure we aren't just dropped straight out the back. And I think Kikovci is the furthest back. Yes, Kikovci and Ryabovis. Kikovci is going to have to push a little bit harder to keep up. Mark Guerrero's done. He's fading. Igashin, just set him to auto. He's almost made contact. Same with Martin Guerrero. And we're going to be down to 4 riders here, it looks like.
Don't have anybody in the breakaway group.
Let's get you climbing a little bit faster. Same with Ryabovis. In fact, let's be smart about this. Kikovci, lead things out. You are very balanced between mountain and hills. We're going to lose contact if we don't push. We have technically lost contact, and he slowed down, which is... I find that so odd when that happens in this game, where we're going increased effort. So he's already putting in a very specific workload, and then they lose contact and then slow down 5 kilometers an hour immediately. If you're already contributing at a certain rate, it just doesn't make sense that would happen at all. Okay, what we need to do now is Ryabovis needs to go forward on his own. Kikovci, go ahead and handle the water here real quick while we descend. It's 43 riders left, and there's one rider in the breakaway, which is Ruben Guerrero. What is it that he is holding on to? It is the King of the Mountains jersey. Kukovci recovering nice and quickly. The others as well. Ryabovas still making his way through the field back into a advantageous position with the 2 climbs yet to come. And he is there, so he can set up and get his recovery on now. And Kukovci sitting on, just gradually making his way up there. Heart rate staying nice and low, so he was actually still recovering through all of that. And let's get him on protect Karaman duty, and then we'll probably get, I'm guessing, I don't know actually, looking at the resistance, 77, 70. Ryabovas is slightly stronger than Isakov today, 77 on the punchy, 76, yeah. But I think realistically, we want them both to sacrifice for Karaman, so don't bury one for the other when they're so similar, and keep them both around. Once Kukovci's used up, we'll have the both of them to lead Karaman out, hopefully on that final climb by that point. It'd be nice if Kukovci makes it through this one. It's only 2.7k, 7.5%, and then that final climb, Zartza, 5.5k, 8% with a max of 11.6. And then you kind of go through a little bit of a false flat and then evens out a little bit to the finish line. So getting to the top of the climb is not quite job done. Okay, up in the effort as we enter the penultimate climb of this race.
This climb is feared by many riders.
Berlikov
The percentages are
has
very
been
high.
amongst the top end of the field in this one, and he is in a podium place. I'm not sure if he's in first or not. Mark Hershey, the green jersey, and we're over that one. We've caught the front of the race, so it's 40 riders to contest
We've got
this.
15 kilometers to the finish line.
Iskov slid back a little bit, but he will recover his position. Falls flat through here. Just a quick little punchy hill. And reset, and on you go. Get that heart rate down again as we prepare for the finish. Do I want to pull forward and try to grab what we have? Would be nice, but let's focus on the finish. Not waste some energy here.
Only 10 kilometers left.
Okay, all 3 guys are in the right position. We will sprint train this one right from the get-go. Do I want to go that way? Yes. Yes! Kraman's looking good for one thing. And these 2 are looking really strong as well. Ryabovas is a little more tired than Isakov, so we will have him go first. And let's put some hurting into the legs of the competitors early on in this climb, which may be unexpected for a lot of them. UAE, little something similar in mind, but pushing a little less hard than I am. 5.5k to go now, and we've split off just the first rider thus far. Pushing a little harder now. 5k to go. Karaman's still looking great. Iskov feeling it a little bit.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
Iskov needs to get on the other side of these riders. It's Pogacar, who's just 46th. Oof. Rough race for him. Not sure what UAE is up to. They riding for somebody else? Rubio is 16th. Nelson Palace is 43rd. Ethan Hayter, maybe they're going for the stage. No, Pogacar's trying to attack.
Again, an attack is launched.
Essau is 3rd with an 80.77. I think that's somebody who's beatable. We're at 3.8k to go. Ryabovas push a little harder to respond to this, so we do not get dropped here. And there is that instant response. Back off just slightly as Pogacar continues on, pushes on. Him winning the stage is not a big deal. Ryabovas is done. And we're at 2.8k, so on to Isakov. Amazingly, there's still 29 riders in this peloton, but I have a feeling we're going to have a very small group hanging on to the wheel here shortly. 2.1k. Okay, these 2. Set them to auto. And Karaman. Let's attack.
Watch out! A team leader is falling behind.
Let's ride with Pogacar for a second. He doesn't want to ride with me, does he? No. 1K to go. Karaman sprinted out for the line. Can we get a top 3 and get a few bonus seconds? Bernal is the one who's trying to overtake us. Pogacar is Pogacar. He's a much better sprinter than Karaman, and Bernal just nips us to the line. But there's a gap behind us till Burlikov, Vingegaard, Adria, and crew. So we've opened a gap to the chase group, but also we should pick up 4 additional seconds for finishing 3rd. Now, we already know that stage winner Pogacar is 4.5 minutes down overall, so him winning the stage was nothing for that GC, and that means Karaman is guaranteed to have made his way onto the podium. Now, as for placement, well, let's wait and find out. 15-second time gap to the chasers, and we get same time as Pogacar, even though he was 3 to 4 seconds ahead of us. And then there's a 50-second time gap starting at 15th place. So what does this do to the overall? It gets us within 1 second of Bernal. So Bernal actually moved ahead of us by beating us to the line by mere seconds. Burlikov takes the win overall, but it was the other podium guys, presumably Colleoni and Asau. Asau we know for sure was in 3rd, who slip off the podium. Either way, even though we 2nd would have been nicer than 3rd, and Bernal beating us by a few millimeters, whatever. Key point was we went from 4th into a podium place, which is more prestigious, so we'll take that. Worth more points. Yeah, happy with that result. Next up, a very, very important Hell of the North race. Ineos have announced that they will be withdrawing sponsorship at the end of the season, and so is Decathlon Quickstep. So both of these key sponsors are headed out of the sport. Even though I just mentioned how we are probably going to be heading out of the sport as well at the end of this season. So we may not actually see that. All right, so here we are at the Hell of the North, my favorite one-day race that there is, my favorite classic by far, my favorite monument. I love Tour of Flanders. I love Strade Bianche, even though it's not a monument, but should be. But it is Paris-Roubaix, and we are just not built for it, and we have never performed well here at Paris-Roubaix. But you try again, and eventually things will go better than they have in the past. Now, we've traditionally had Galvez in terrible shape, and we've really only had Galvez outside of last season, and Galvez has usually been in pretty poor shape here. Now, previously his cobble rating was 75, 76, and then he'd come here with a -2, a -3 almost every year, and then we had 1 year where he was looking pretty good. And then he punctured, I think it was twice, or punctured once and crashed once. And I think the highest finish we've ever had is somewhere right around 40th place here at Paris-Roubaix. So not good. A whole lot of not good is what we have faced here. Now, Galvez today at least has the 0 race day condition, 98% fitness, so he's getting +1s. His stamina resistance isn't high, his flat rating is only but he's got that 79 cobble, which is going to really help him out. Sift C is not a cobble guy, but he's got a fantastic flat rating. He's got a very high stamina rating. His resistance is fairly decent, and with his +2, he's got a 67 cobble today. Wakira, he's looking good. Best race day condition within the squad. That's going to be useful anyway. 78 cobble rating for him. He's got a 73 flat. He's 70 on his resistance, 74 on his stamina. but I'm not seeing any standouts. There's no 80 pluses. There's nothing fantastic about this group. There's just a bit of balance to it.
A fall has just happened in the Peloton. Several riders are
Now,
on the ground.
I'm not surprised that Berggren has gone down and crashed. It's pouring down rain, and wow, Killinch too. Berggren, he's back on his feet. He is coming back forward. He was protecting Galvez. I'm just glad he didn't bring down Galvez with him. And Killinch, I'm gonna have to up his effort to try to get his position back, but he's okay. But that was just the start. One sector, and we've already had a crash and a puncture within the team. If somebody is willing to knock on wood, we can hope that that's all we're going to see today, and we've gotten it out of the way right off the bat. I guess, though, it's not over yet. Let's see how Killinch, the one rider riding solo, there's another puncture, but not one of our guys. Killinch drifting back on the cobbled sectors. Here we go again. By the way, Berggren is still way back here as well. There's another rider going backwards, presumably with a puncture. Killinch has made up some ground. Alright, this front group, and up their effort just a little bit.
That's another rider with a flat tire. The road is really treacherous.
Let's just get them set to an 80. You do not want to get dropped. It could be so costly. Killinch, you know what? Push a little harder. He's almost back up there. Berggren has made a lot of ground up.
Look, the pack has taken its foot off the gas. The team leaders can't be too worried about the
Here we go
breakaway.
again. Already down to 134 in the peloton. There's quite a few riders off the back. There's a couple more with hands raised. Berggren, how are we doing on water? We got it not long ago, but we will need to get it again, and with a large peloton, it's going to be tricky. Berggren might be the right guy to do it, and soon, while he's making his way up, because he won't drop back too far to get the water. Maybe. Come on, you've got it. Work your way forward. 133k to go, so we'll be in good shape on that with only needing to get water one more time. And he's almost back up there. Another lengthy cobbled sector. It's one of the huge differences between here and so many of the other cobbled races. Even though this one doesn't have the climbs like your Ronde van Vlaanderen, your Tour of Flanders, but it has the length that so many of the others have. What we just went through is one of the shorter sectors that we've been on, and now we almost immediately go into the next sector, and it's more than 2 kilometers in length. And then you're going to go out of that one right into the next one, which is 1.5 kilometers in length. So you spend so long on the cobbles. And then, of course, many of them are 3, 4, 5-star rated. Okay, Berggren is our furthest man back. Siftsy is struggling. Let's get your Gels, Sakaguchi, Killinch all struggling. So the first wave of domestiques are nearly used up.
Attack by Valentin Madouas.
We're seeing an attack here with over 100k to go. That really feels like much too far out.
That's another rider with a flat tire. The road is really treacherous.
Berggren, he's done, and Galvez is the guy he was supporting. Killinch, got a trade-off. Wallers. Getting harder. That was the longest break we had between sectors the rest of the way. The breaks from here are all pretty short, and actually the velodrome, the handful of kilometers you spend on your way to it and in it, is nearly the remainder of what there is. And these 3 are done as well and have been dropped, and all of a sudden we've got a peloton of just 56, and I'm down to just 3 riders, as our guy in between is gone as well. So we just have 3 left: Akira Hamadovic and Galvez. Hamadovich is definitely going into a support role, but which one to support? Akira looks good, but Galvez is still our strongest, or is he? 70 on the resistance, 68. Stamina, again, slightly advantage to Akira. Flat at a 73. Galvez is just a 71. The one difference here is the cobble rating +1. Sprint, 69, 73, and 72, 71. Galvez is still going to beat a few more guys than what Akira is, but it is so close between them. And it's nice to have two riders that are looking pretty good. It's not too bad to have Forest of Ehrenberg. Here we go. This is where the race intensifies, and this is where we need to drastically up the effort. And here we go. Into the Forest of Ehrenberg. Watch out for any sort of attacks, because this can absolutely split the field. Back end is coming in. We're not pushing that hard at the moment. Some years you see it, some years you don't. But no big attack.
The pack's deficit is being
Still
cut
good.
back. The breakaway is not
Split
to
back
everybody's
up.
liking. The Peloton has significantly
Just under
increased
60
its
riders still chasing that front group, but there are 5 riders in between. Now, I'm just thinking about trying to get into the top 25 for a change. Well, realistically, top 20 for a
Yet
change.
another flat tire. It seems to be
Akira?
catching. Falling behind.
Akira needs to
A
up
team
his
leader is
effort a
falling
little bit,
behind.
as he is slipping backwards.
One of the motorcyclists says that a rider
Try
is
to help
down.
him get
Apparently,
forward.
he didn't interfere with the race.
And we've lost a few more riders. And we're seeing another attack here.
There's a sustained rhythm at the moment. Some riders
There's a large
definitely
enough
won't be able
group,
to keep
though,
up.
that I still
Attacked by
suspect that
Thomas
you'll get a
Pitcock.
chase. As we just caught up to 3 riders that went clear and have now been reeled in and look like they're
Apparently, there's
likely to
another
go straight out
puncture.
the back.
Your riders really
Okay,
should
here we
pay more
go.
attention to their choice of tires.
Again, up the effort, as these are some of the decisive kilometers where
Holy
you can
cow,
see big
that was a
splits.
fall.
And the groups off the back are never to be seen again. 10 riders have been dropped. Akira's still in an okay position here, but he is struggling slightly. And there is the split just behind Wakira. Good thing he did not miss out on that one. Now it's 34 left. Chasing 11, but most of those are those breakaway riders that had pretty sizable gaps that are about to be reeled in. Now some of those guys could be those riders that did break off the front. Be nice if we're losing those guys here soon. Hamadovich is fading. Wakira, go protect Galvez now, please. Even though he's looking similar to Galvez, but you can see that cobble rating helping as Galvez holds his position a little bit better. Wakira is losing his place within the peloton bit by bit by bit, just slowly falling back. And you see to get up to Galvez, his heart rate's quite a bit higher, and his energy consumption is not looking so hot
Apparently,
at the
there's
moment.
another puncture.
But
Your riders
this,
really should pay more
I think,
attention
is
to their
already
choice
the
of tires.
longest we have remained in the peloton, with especially a small peloton,
Acceleration by Van Baarle.
and it's the longest we've had a support rider in the peloton with our leader. But this group getting smaller, smaller each and every sector. 26 left, now 25 left,
crashed
and
off,
we've got a
and
few
he's
guys
not
attacking.
getting up.
I'm completely
Oh, I
fine
hope
with
it
them
isn't too
attacking.
serious.
This is now
Attacked by
about the
Stuyven.
survival and
Yet
trying to get that
another
top
flat
25.
tire. It
Hamadovich, you can
seems
see
to be
how
catching.
far back he is already fallen. Wakira is gone. Looks like he is going to be joined by Stewart and Vellens and Maurice. A few guys on the back of the group. Galvez has slipped to the back of the group. And it's a group of 21 now. That helps
Attack!
that
It's a
chance
good
of a
moment
top
to show the team
25, but
colors.
Galvez
Oh
is getting
I can see a
dropped
rider on
before
the
we
tarmac.
ever enter
Thank
the
goodness he
sector.
looks fit
He
to get
has
back in
held
the
on,
race.
but he's going to slip
Another
off,
flat tire.
and that means he's probably going to get caught by the group behind. The good news on that is the Wakira
Falling
is in that
behind.
group,
A team leader is falling
and we would
behind.
have 2 guys for that as we go forward. 50k to go though. And we've been caught by that group and left behind by
That's
that
another
group.
rider with a
Wakira
flat tire.
is still a
The
minute
road
behind.
is
Wakira
really
got
treacherous.
dropped by the
current
group.
pace is a bit too
And
docile for
Galvez,
some
who's only
riders
just
who are
starting to
looking
recover,
create a breakaway.
is going to struggle through here a little bit. Luckily, that was a short sector. He is starting to recover,
Oh my, that's a spectacular
but he's definitely
ball.
gone backwards since losing the Peloton. He held on for a nice long while. We are getting some recovery in now. 37k to go. We're gonna, if we're still tight to the back, I'm gonna raise that hand, get that water. There
There's
you
another
go.
rider with a puncture. The sides of the road are not a tire's best
Group
friend.
of 8. Group that's really struggling. You can see a lot of these guys are not working too well. Galvez is not the only one with the shoulder sagging, and we've got 2 guys right in front of us. Group of 10
There's a report over the
is
radio of a
a
rider
good way
coming
to
off
try
his
to
bike.
make
But
up some
apparently,
ground.
He's back in the saddle.
But just how far off are we
The
right
pace
now
seems
from
much too high for
a
many
top
riders.
20? I feel like we're a little ways off. I think we're in line for a top 30 as long as we beat a couple of these guys in this group. But I do think we are in trouble when it comes to making top 25, and especially making a top 20. And we've got 2 more
There's
riders.
another rider with a puncture. The sides of the road are not a tire's best
Okay,
friend.
Peloton has 14. There's 4 riders off the back, and then the 12 of us. And we can see the, ooh, hello. And somebody just got picked up in our group. And it was Van Aert, I think. Van Aert or De Gent, but I think it was Van Aert who had a puncture there and is now in our group and is going to help lead this chase back. But look how much we are struggling through here, even though I'm somehow on the verge of leaving the group behind. Front's all disorganized. I don't think we've completely lost our chance of a top
The
20.
rider is down.
Certainly top 25. But if that group leaves me behind and we don't regain contact, then yes, we are doomed to missing the top 20.
There
Right
are
there.
just 10 kilometers
Come on,
left.
Valens. Alaphilippe, get us up there. Get us up there. Last sector. Last sector.
That's
If we can
another
catch that
rider
group
with
and
a
I can
flat
beat
tire.
a
The
few
road
of them,
is really treacherous.
I think
Watch
we'll
out,
have a
the
top
team
20.
leader's falling behind.
getting through the last sector, and we are alive. We are still alive,
The
but
finish line
can
is
we
getting
catch
close.
them?
The
That's the
riders
big
just
if.
passed the
And
5
I'm
kilometers
feeling like we're
road sign.
just a little too far back. I'm going to slow this down here
Another
into the
attack.
final
This time
6K.
it could go all the
Alaphilippe
way.
riding away from us. Okay, there's the attack for the line. We are in the velodrome before the race is done.
Apparently,
That
there's
part
another
is
puncture.
huge.
The riders really should pay
Van
more
Barl
attention
has
to their
taken the
choice of
win.
tires.
The first 5 are all there. But what
The
can we
riders
do?
bringing up their
What
rear
can
have
we do?
made it
Oh
through
no.
sheer willpower.
Oh, I thought those
This
5 were
stage was a
the ones
real
right in front of
strength
us, and
sapper.
it's not. It's not. We have 2K to go, and I've got nothing but a sprint left. And these guys that are coming in are just coming into the velodrome now. Very confusing. Too many riders around. 1K to go. 1K to go, and sprint it out. Sprint it out. We've missed the top 20. Only just. Galvez, 25th.
Somebody
You know,
says that a
that's
rider is
2
down.
monuments in a row that the goal of trying to crack the top 20 for the first time has resulted in the still positive, the still oh so close, but not quite there, 25th place. Now, in terms of sponsor recognition, top 20 versus top 25 is identical.
Yet another
But
flat tire. It
on
seems
the
to be catching.
on the boards, on the prior performances of years past, it only goes down to 20th. So just to see that we've had a rider crack the top 20, you got to get 20th or better, not 25th. But every season, we're getting a little bit better in this discipline, closer and closer. Remember, most classics riders are in Northern Europe. None of those countries are eligible to this team. Now, the only downside to all of this progress that we're making is it looks like this is that final season where I'm not going to get another go at this. Still, you know, even though 25th is not a terribly good result by any means, any stretch of the imagination, for us, it's progress, and progress feels good. So I'm happy by that account. Van Aert
A rider
missing
is
out,
down.
no fault of his own. He had a puncture, and we were right there. If we hadn't lost contact, we might have had that top 20 because Van Aert got there. Vermeersch, I think, was in the group. Benoot wasn't. So, I mean, we were just, you could have just gotten 19, 20, 21, down the way. So, we would have had to beat quite a few of those guys in that final sprint. But the group that I was in, we beat all of them in that sprint. So, Van Aert, probably wouldn't have beat him, but maybe we could have beaten Boykins. Speculation, though, you don't know. We got 25th. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.